Erica Serwin here from Pink Buckaroo Designs, and I have a really cute project to share with you today. I saw a commercial on TV from Kleenex, and they are advertising these little boxes of Kleenex that you can send to people. You can actually order it on their website and they'll mail it for you. And I thought that is such a sweet idea. But theirs isn't very cute. So of course I thought, okay, I have to make this and it has to be cute. So mine is modeled a little bit after theirs. And I made this for somebody who's sick. Here in South Texas, we've got lots of people with cedar allergies, very, very sick. So I thought this was a perfect time of the year for this. So it's a slider box, and you can see the tissues go right in there. And it slides right in. So let's get started and let me show you how to make this. All right, today I'm going to start by showing you how I score. Stampin' Up! Has two different tools that you can use for scoring. This one is called the Simply Scored, and the other one is a Stampin' Trimmer. They're both great. I prefer this one. I like to hold a stylus in my hand. I feel like I have better control over it, and I also like how this one gives a really deep score line. All right, so you're going to need 2 pieces of thick Whisper White cardstock. And the first one you need is 5 1/4 by 7. And we're going to score the long side first at 1/2 inch, at 1 1/4, 5 3/4, and 6 1/2. See how the line connects all the way down so that you're not getting out of the track anywhere. You can see exactly where you're going and you don't have to move your paper. All right, so now we're going to turn it this way, and we're going to score it at 2 1/4. This is a marker, so you can mark your lines if you are scoring something over and over. So I'm going to move it out of the way so you can see my numbers. 2 1/4 and 3. All right, so that's the inside box. So we're going to set that aside for a little bit. We're going to do the outside box. Okay, so the next one you need is 4 1/2 by 7, and we're just going to score it on the long side. We're going to score at 1/2, 1 3/8. So get it. Start at the 1 and count 3 tick marks over for 3/8. 1, 2, 3. So 1 3/8, 3 3/4, and 4 5/8. And that's the outside box. Okay, so I chose to use quite a few different stamp sets for this. I try to keep it simple for videos, but for this one, I just couldn't do it. I'm using this sentiment, Sorry You're Sick, Get Better Quick, from Fabulous 4. I'm using the little heart right here from a Nice Cuppa. And I'm using the heart border from, this stamp set is called Chalk Lines. Okay, so let's start our stamping. And for this part, I'm going to need a piece of paper. And I'm going to turn this over, so this is the inside where I wrote. And one of these big sections is going to be your front side. So decide which one you want that to be. I usually, wherever this tab, see how I'm folding it in, and this tab's going to go right under there. Wherever that tab is, I want that to be the back, because that usually doesn't look as nice and neat as the other one. So I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to use this border that I talked about. And I'm going to ink it up. It's a little bit bigger than the ink pad, so I have to move it around. And because it's photopolymer, I can see exactly where I'm stamping, and I'm going to go right for the middle. All right, now I also thought maybe to put a little row of hearts in the back would be cute too, maybe just along the bottom. Okay, now we're going to use crushed curry and that little heart from a Nice Cuppa. And I am going to put hearts all over. And I seem to do that with this heart a lot. Kind of half do it, but that's the beauty of photopolymer. You can just lay it right back down where you stamped it. No problem. And I did this on the back side too. All over. Now to hold our box together, we're going to need a good adhesive. I recommend Fast Fuse or tear-in tape. I'm not going to worry about that one because we're going to put adhesive there. So make sure you get a good adhesive for this, especially if you're going to send it in the mail. I'm going to use Fast Fuse, and I'm going to put a 1-inch strip across this right under here, under those hearts. And I made it a little bit longer. This DSP stack is 6 by 6, so I just cut off a 1-inch sheet And then I'm just going to trim it like that. All right, so let's assemble it. We're going to put adhesive on this tab right here, this end tab. And I'm going to fold it over. Now, if you are worried about those score lines that I mentioned, don't worry, I'm going to have them listed on my blog. So make sure you look in the comments. If you're on YouTube, I'll have a link to this post. All right, so now let's do the sentiment. And I'm using a stamp that has 2 sentences on it, and I want one on the inside and one on the outside. So how do we do this? Well, we use Post-it notes. And I'm going to take my Post-it note and I'm going to cover up the bottom sentence. And I'm going to get my Bermuda Bay and ink it up. And the part you've got to remember is to take that off, because you don't want that stamped on there. I've done that more times than I want to admit. All right, let's put this right in the middle. It does take some eyeballing it. All right, let's put Stampin' Dimensionals. And it's going to go right here at the bottom. All right, now let's grab the Big Shot. I'm using the vellum, the beautiful pattern vellum that comes free with a celebration order during January, February, and March. It is pattern vellum, so it's translucent, but it has a little bit of a pattern on it. It's very pretty. And I'm using the smaller butterfly. And he's going to have lots of little bitty pieces. And because this is vellum, it cuts really well. But when you are using this butterfly with cardstock, I highly recommend you using the precision plate and the new Big Shot brush. They are great. And if you have a piece that's stuck in there, just get your piercer or the tip of your scissors, and all of that will come right out. All right, a glue dot on this guy and a glue dot on that guy. And we're going to add him. Let's do another glue dot. I like to use glue dots with vellum. Can't see them very much. And we'll put that butterfly just like that. Very pretty. Okay, so that's the outside of our box. All right, let's make the bottom piece. This is your 5 1/4 by 7. We're going to need to trim this guy a little bit. So I want you to start on either side. It doesn't matter. We're going to go up right here, and we're going to cut this part off. Okay, those bottom 2. Then we're going to cut this little rectangle off right here. And then cut that all the way in like that. So let's do the same thing over here. Those 2. The rectangle. And in for the flap. All right, so burnish those lines, get them all folded in. And let's turn it over and do our stamping. We're going to add a row of hearts again. I'm going to do it at the bottom this time. I'm going to add my strip of DSP. DSP stands for Designer Series Paper. That's what Stampin' Up! Calls pattern paper. And I'm going to pull that tab in and cut that extra little bit off. All right, now we want to stamp the other half of the sentiment. We did Sorry You're Sick, and now we're going to do Get Better Quick. So again, get your Post-it. This time you're going to cover up. Make sure that you've cleaned it really, really good, because you don't want to stamp when you take this off for there to still be ink on there. So cover up that top one. Ink up the bottom one. Take off the Post-it note, don't forget. And see if I can get it straight. Get Better Quick. Yay! All right, so now let's assemble this part. We're going to tuck these little guys in, these little side guys, and we're going to put adhesive on the inside tab right here, the outside what will be the inside right here. Okay, so one there. Definitely use your fast fuse or your tear and tape. fold that in, and set this right on top of that tab. Right there, set on top of that tab. And there you have it. So that's where you put your tissues in there. Now to make it a slider box, we're going to take some of this gorgeous Bermuda Bay 1/4 inch gingham ribbon, I think, or maybe it's called stitch ribbon. It looks gingham to me. And we're going to tie it around the box like this. And I'm going to the post office today. I'm going to find out how much it would cost to mail one of these little guys, because I just think that this would make such a sweet little surprise for somebody in the mail. All right, and then you slide it in. So it says, sorry you're sick, get better quick. And it's a little pack of tissues. Now I made another one I want to show you really quickly. I also think this would be great for someone who's experienced a loss. I never know what to say, and it can be very awkward and uncomfortable, but you want them to know that you're thinking about them. So I made another one using Lost Lagoon, and this is DSP from Go Wild, and it says, with sympathy for some things there are just no words, and a thing of tissues. Oh, I think that's really sweet, especially for me, someone who feels like I just don't know what to say. I think someone might appreciate that, just to know that you're thinking about them. And this stamp set that I use is the Rose Wonder to go with that one. So one's kind of bright and fun, and the other one's a little subdued, but I think that they would both make fabulous thinking of you gifts. All right, go back to my blog and get all the product and measurements, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, bye-bye.